may never meet again, but then it's not for me to
Well, hello, I'm Andy Warhol, and well, I just wanted to let you know that in case the internet goes down, um, we'll be fine. Okay, now we're going to give you some updates from the artsy fartsy crowd, and we're working on my costume and cover up my T-shirt. Oh hell. Okay, so. I gotta add my lisp because everyone knows Andy Warhol's got a lisp. Did you hear the news? Not only did they close the bars in California, they closed the liquor stores in Pennsylvania. What's a girl to do? If I can't have my daily martini, I'm gonna go crazy. That sounds more like Paul Lynde from the Hollywood Squares. Yeah. I hope they haven't closed the flower shops because my admirers have to have a place where they can buy me something and bring it over. Now, if they are going to close all the bars and the liquor stores, what are our options? Well, in the 1920s, this came about. The governments decided no more liquor for you. So then we had what was known as the speakeasies, which were private clubs that were illegal, and you could go there and they would serve you bathtub gin. What was bathtub gin? It was homemade ethanol. And how did they make it? Well, primarily what you do is you take potatoes and yeast. Now take your potatoes. I would put it in your food processor and mush it. Turn it into mush. And then yeast, well, I don't know where you're going to get the yeast they make alcohol from. Oh, I know. If you go to the grocery store and it's not sold out, go to the bread department. Make your own bread because that yeast will make alcohol. So you put in water and then put in your mashed up potatoes. Add yeast. I don't know. Like if you're going to make a lot of this stuff, yeast, yeah, once you get it going, it's like that sourdough bread. You just keep reusing it. So, put in a few packets of yeast, bread yeast, and keep it warm. And now on MASH, the TV show MASH, they made booze. And I don't know how long it takes to make booze. But some of your friends that make homemade wine will know how long. Let's go with 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You could taste it along the way. Now, what are you going to need to do with it? Well, in MASH, they made a homemade still. It was made out of a copper pipe. It wasn't a real still on MASH. It was basically a sight gag. It was a prop. Who do you know? You're going to have to find your local chemistry teacher. Your local chemistry teacher will know how to set up a proper still. In other words, what you're going to do is take all that liquid with the booze in it. It's dilute booze. And you get your chemistry teacher to cook you up a proper still. And then they're going to concentrate the booze for you. Otherwise, if you're desperate, it's going to be weak, but it's going to be basically the strength of beer, or homemade wine. So you could still get tipsy on it, just might not taste too good. Now, what I would take is fabric. Now, this fabric could be used because it's see-through. So you could use, this is Polyester. So you could use a polyester fabric like woman's pantyhose and use it to filter out all the solids from your potato mash. And then you're going to have pure liquid. And, well, what's it going to taste like? How desperately are you to get drunk? Now, somebody wants to know, well, you could, if you had sugar, you could pour extra sugar into your mash before when you're adding your yeast to it. Extra sugar will help give food to the yeast. That's what the potatoes is basically. It's the starch and the sugar that's going to feed the yeast. And what happens is yeast takes sugar and it breaks it up into carbon dioxide and alcohol. And starch is what potatoes are. Starch is long chains of sugar molecules. So what else do you need to know? That's it. That's basically it. Homebrew, and then the speakeasies basically got a daily shipment from whoever was brewing the stuff, and you would go there and get corked. It was lots of fun. They had live entertainment and dancing, and you might have to pay off the local cops, but you'll be making so much money from your homemade booze. Now, I mean, everything is going to become illegal, right? Because they're telling you can't have booze, so you might as well just go crazy. And in other words, open grow ops, and then start growing cannabis. And that's another way that people love to get high. If you're in farm country, well, magic mushrooms grow on cow poop. So you can do that thing. Those are pretty good ways of getting high, other than the old-fashioned way of, when you're a child and you spin around pretty quick. What else do we want to do? Well, if the internet goes out, go to your grandma's house. She's probably still got a record player and records, so you can have music. And then live musicians, well, I mean, electric guitars aren't going to work, but acoustic guitars and drums will work. Horns like saxophones and trumpets will work. So, I mean, you can still make live music. Let's see. Now, people are still highly addicted to the television and TV news and its internet versions. Mainstream news is still pumping out the fear factor. So you have to be aware that it's psychological warfare on you. They are really working hard to make you scared. And so turn off the news. And if you're going to talk about all this crap, make sure it's comedy, because otherwise you'll be like my mother. She came down the stairs and she looked at me and she told me, I heard through the grapevine that someone in Spain is worried about this, and you should be worried. And I looked at her and I said, Mother, I am the smartest child that you ever had, and you have forgotten about that. And I am not going to go into fear over some gossip that came all the way from the far side of the world, where, I just can't go and check it out. Not that I want to check it out, but, more and more, this is what happens when people are plugged into the mainstream news. They're is psychologically being worn down by hour after hour of negative news. And nothing new there. I told my mother a long time ago to go away from the television pretty much all the time when there's news on there, but she's not listening. But I'm sure you have people in your world that are convincing you that this is a really big thing, because they're totally plugged into what's known as The Matrix. The Matrix, Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne. Yes, that's what they're plugged into. Um, and they're not getting any other information except it's bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news. And so what did I do? Well, seeing as the possibility of the internet is going down, I wanted to get this video up so you get to see it before the internet goes down, if it goes down. But there have been warnings from the psychics who are in touch with the extraterrestrials that that's kind of the plan, that they are going to take the internet down so that you can't get information from me. You can only get it from your mother, who is worried. So what I did is I got her my DVD collection, because we still have DVD players, believe it or not. And what I gave her was a DVD of Happy Days, 1970s comedy, and the other one was the Lucille Ball show. So these are happy things that you can watch instead of watching. Well, if they take the internet down, then what's going to? Well, I don't know. Maybe they're going to keep the television going because, if you read Orwell, 1984 is the book. Order it right now on Amazon, right now. Like, first thing you do when you finish the video, order a copy of 1984 so that you will come to understand exactly what's going on. It's called Big Brother Using the Television to Lie to You, Tell, Lie, Vision. And it's all about massive control of the population. Why? Well, that's what the elite 1% Illuminati are all about, controlling your mind. So it's like the Twilight Zone. There's a war on for your mind. And it's their enormous propaganda campaign. And don't forget that they run the government. They run the World Health Organization. And they, they're passing laws right and left to restrict your freedom. Some people say no, we don't. This was Benjamin Franklin, who was one of the founders of the Republic of the United States, who said, if you sacrifice your freedom for security, you will end up with neither. Benjamin Franklin. So a very wise man, and even today, this highly applies. So don't voluntarily give up your freedom. It's going to be very difficult, but you have to remember in the back of your mind, Ben Franklin. And if he was alive today, he would say, this is exactly why we separated from the King of England, because he was all about controlling us. And we stand for freedom, land of the free. So if you're in America, your land of the free has been stolen from you by the corrupt criminal cabal. I'm sorry, they've stolen your country from you. They've stolen freedom from you, and now they're putting you on lockdown. What can you do about it? Wait it out. Wait it out. You don't need to take these things into your own hands. It's all going to finish off. How? Mostly moment to moment. In other words, don't go too much in the future worrying about this, that, the next thing, because that is how they want you to go. They want you to go into fear, What happens if this, that, the next thing happens? Don't do that. Stay present in the present moment, which is why when you go to Amazon, you can also get yourself a copy of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle, and have it handy for people who are going insane watching mainstream media news, which is all about fear of the future, because we're going to turn the screws on you. So you have to keep your vibration high. Why is this? Because metaphysically, what's going on is they're trying to get you into a state of fear, because the human mind is very powerful, and what the human mind has in mind tends to manifest into your reality. So if you're focused on fear, 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 then whatever they're giving you in the state of fear is what's going to be what you see. So if you laugh at them and you say, those fucking assholes are up at it again, then, they've been at it for centuries. and keep your vibration high. So some people say send them love and envelop them in white light or something. If you want to do that, what do I do? Most of the time I say they're so fucking assholes. I mean, I call a spade a spade. These fucking assholes are assholes. Am I giving into anger and hatred? This is difficult because that's the natural thing, and then you get your mind lowered into sort of a hatred pattern. You don't want that. So that's why it's better to not talk too much about the situation that they're trying to get you into and put on the Lucy Show and put on Happy Days so that your mind is not being contaminated with fear. Meditation is an excellent thing, but if you never meditated, maybe you never will. So I'm giving you alternatives. If you are someone that knows how to meditate, go meditate. If you're someone that likes to go and go for nature walks, go for nature walks. If you're at home and you're like me, you might have like an exercise ball where you could, do your exercises here at home or whatever. The problem with going to the gym is you're going to find these negative people. And so you're not really going to escape from negative news by going to places. So in some ways, the idea of social distance is actually good. If you remember, I don't want to be near toxic people that are going to talk about negative news. What else can I tell you?